what would be the top three things or top three objectives when building a digital marketing strategy that you can share with everyone online?
Yeah, sure. First thing would definitely be around your target audience.
Okay.
And so even just today, had a meeting with a client and we were writing some new content for these different persona pages for their customers. So we've decided that there's been basically additional content that's been needed for these different groups. And so the intention is writing this content and then upload to the website. We've got a whole wireframe and structure to this. But that content I could not have written without this persona document to tell me what do they care about, what are their pain points, what are their aspirations, where do they live, what services are they most interested in. And so I wrote that content using the tone of voice of the company and utilizing the services that they offer. But the other layer that I needed was really around the personas, aspirations and feelings and emotions and what they care about.
Yep.
And so that type of document, it's a you call it an avatar, you might call it a persona doc, or your whatever it may be, but it's your customer personas and audiences. Being able to define those in great detail will then unravel a whole host of ideas. Maybe you need to improve your content, maybe you need to update your website. And so that's the first one that I would recommend, is establishing your audience, but on a deeper level, identifying what are the drivers and motivators for those audiences to purchase your service or product.
Two more.
Structure and strategy is with what you're doing.
Okay.
So whether we use ClickUp for our project management, ClickUp, Asana, or Monday, or Trello, or a spreadsheet, tracking what you're doing and what those results are. You can very easily employ, a more junior person in the business to assist with this, but providing them the template and the guides of, this is what we want to do. We're going to do this for 2-3 months, and then we're going to refer back and see what success we had.
Yep.
So giving the structure to record the results and the socials and the posting, or maybe you're going to an event. How many connections did you make from the event? How many days was it? How many follow-ups did you have? Again, looking at mini sales funnels and processes. And so having good structure around what you're doing, why you're doing it, what the results are, will allow you to then report back and see if it's successful and something you want to repeat or not.
Is it important from a digital branding perspective, and when you're looking at, there's social media and email campaigns and there's SEO and all of this to stay on top of, which can all drive your brand, but is it important to have followers into all of that to then try and balance marketing from that as well, whether that be organic or paid marketing efforts?
So you're asking if you need lots of followers on your pages to get good results with paid ads?
Yeah. Someone asked me that the other day. I said, that's a good question, but I don't believe it's essential.
It's not essential. Some people do look at validating the company. So it's more engagement on the ad itself. So if you get lots of negative, reactions, I mean, that's kind of changed a little bit now. But those negative reactions will deter people. Some people look into the company, but they look at a lot of things. They look at how the ad's been created, what graphics is, capturing the attention, what's the brand name, and what's the colors and, some of the aesthetics behind the branding, and does it resonate with me? And then, looking at, maybe they might do some additional research. So we know people go and have multiple touch points. And a good tip actually is, if you're in your Google Analytics, is to have a session and have a look at the journey of your customers when they come to your website. You can actually look and see what platforms they've been to and how many times they've been back to those pages before they actually took an event and an action. So if there's anything in Google Analytics that you should do, is definitely looking at your traffic by user and by page, but having a look at the journey of those customers. It will open your eyes to understand that they might have gone to 5 different places before they came to you.
And is that analytics, is that free?
Google Analytics, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So there's more complex tools, but that's a really good one. And yeah, just to look at those journeys. I mean, as marketers, we get drilled about understanding customer journeys and workflows and processes, but analytics is pretty easy for the average person to use with a bit of basic training.
Yep.
So going back to having a look at those type of structures and processes are good.
Okay.
And whether it's 50 followers or 500 followers, it's not really going to move the needle. on your Instagram pages. So if you're driving people to your page and your page has maybe 5 followers, and your content, your feed doesn't look aesthetic and isn't engaging, those things play into it. So
Yeah.
just looking more broadly, again, going back to consistency, your branding, can they see themselves as a potential customer of your business? Those type of things are what's going to matter to them. Is the ad catchy, creative? Is it going to stop me in my tracks scrolling through?
And are you still seeing, when we're talking about, let's say, going to the paid marketing efforts, is Meta still the number one to work with?
I mean, it really depends on your business. And Meta is great because it does give you a few different options and being able to customize your audience. It's pretty easy to set up. We've really improved the audience process and setup. Like when I started the agency 5 years ago, if anyone wanted to run Meta ads and Facebook ads, agencies were charging upwards of 3, 4, 5 grand to just even do a setup. The costs have come down sufficiently because the process is easier. So it should be much more affordable than that to set up. Now, it does depend how many ad iterations you have and, if you have the reporting and the tracking set up. So there's other aspects to it.